Hey, what's up you guys? It's Lexi DIY and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. This is my husband, Dustin.
What's up?
I vote to name him Husband DIY or Dustin DIY, but he says no, so we'll talk him into it. But today we are going to be talking about our house buying horror story. That is still not over. And if you follow us anywhere,
Either of us on basically any social media platform,
you will know that we are in the process of buying a hot mess house, as I've so lovely named it on TikTok, to do a renovation and to live in. And this process has gone on for how many months?
since November. So December, January, February.
Well, and November. So 4 months, right?
We could say that, yeah.
Yeah, so this process has gone by for 4 months. If you see me looking off to the side, it's because I wrote down some stuff on my computer just so that I could not forget anything. And so we have a timeline because this situation is honestly out of control. And if anybody has any suggestions or has been through a similar situation, I would really appreciate you just like dropping your situation in the comments, anything that could be helpful to us, or just like sending some good vibes our way, because honestly
Need it.
Yeah.
We need it.
we're really sad. So let's just hop into it. On November 11th, I think, our offer got accepted and we were now in escrow. So we were very excited. We were like, okay, there's gonna be these 2 weeks in between when we sell our old house and close on our new house, but that's okay. We took our dogs down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which is where my parents live generally, and please don't say anything about us traveling in a pandemic in the comments. We literally had no other option. We had to take our dogs down there.
Homeless.
We were homeless.
So.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't have traveled down there if it wasn't out of like pure necessity. We came back up here and we stayed with our friends Lane and Bubba, which thank you guys so much, for about a week or a little more.
It was a little bit, it was only supposed to be a week exactly.
Because we were supposed to close on our house.
On December 14th.
We like left our friend's house and we came to the city where our house is, and we had a hotel thinking, oh, we're only gonna be here for 2 days and then we're gonna close on our house, we're gonna go in, clean it, do all this stuff, and then we're gonna go back and get the dogs. The next day, we wake up and we get a call from our agent, and he's like, this deal might not go through. You might not be able to close on this house. There's a lien on the house for a significant amount of money, and you know, they don't have enough proceeds to cover this when they sell it. And so we were like literally crushed. We didn't know what to do. We were freaking out because we were homeless. We didn't have anywhere to live. We hadn't had our dogs in weeks, and shout out to my parents for taking care of them. It ended up being over a month that they took care of them, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. At that point, Dustin was on leave, and we decided to just go back down to South Carolina and not keep paying for a hotel.
For Christmas time.
We spent 10 days in South Carolina just trying to get updates, and the seller's agent is horrible, and they were not responsive at all. The house was empty. Like, every time we came to tour it, like, there was no furniture in here, and we were like, well, you know, while we're waiting for this to clear up, can we pay them rent? Can we take early possession? They just kept ignoring that request. Like, they knew we were homeless. They didn't care. The buyer's agent was so unresponsive. So finally, you know, Dustin had to come back because his leave was over. I had to go back to work. So we come back and we get a hotel.
And this was after we had already stayed in prior to Christmas time.
Yeah. So at this point, we're running out of money, and because we're having to spend it on a hotel, and we're getting no answers. The house is sitting empty. We're so annoyed that we can't just come take early possession of the house.
Living out of literally a suitcase apiece.
Yeah. And like we couldn't even do laundry.
No laundry. Couldn't really cook. One of the like 4 or 5 different hotels we went to had a kitchen, but like obviously that one costed more, so we didn't stay in that one.
Yeah. And it was just such a mess. New Year's comes around and we finally sign the agreement, and the seller signs the agreement that says we can take early possession. And we're really excited. We're like, thank goodness, finally we can, stop living out of a suitcase and go get some of our stuff out of storage. Because also, keep in mind, this whole time we're also having to pay for a storage unit for all of our stuff. So we take early possession and we clean the entire house, and we're paying this guy weekly. And then we start hot mess house renovation.
Shout out.
Yeah, which if you guys follow me on TikTok, I started a renovation series on there because there was a lot of things. What are you doing? Oh.
I'm gonna bring our special guest real quick.
Yeah, let's bring in our special guest. Rick the Brick!
Rick!
So we started doing things like just cleaning, and we did get permission to take down the curtains and to paint.
We took a brick out of the toilet.
We did take a brick out of the toilet. His name is Rick now. He's our mascot. People on the internet were really excited for us, but also really mad that we were doing anything and that we still didn't know if we were going to be closing on that, like when we were going to be closing on the house. We were still trying to get answers, but we needed to do that to like feel comfortable here. And we also got permission. That's why there hasn't been any update video, because I know that my last video was our home tour, and we, although we had been filming all of these like things that we were doing, we were just in a really bad like mental state, to be honest. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't put out another video until I had answers. On the first that we can, move in here, we move in on the 6th of January, and then they're saying we are going to close on or before January 31st. Like, you will close before the end of January. Well, the end of January comes and goes, and we are being told that it's being worked on with the state, with removing the lien. We're getting closer, but we're not there yet. They're not giving us anything.
Nothing specific at all.
Yeah, so we decided that we would extend our contract and we would sign an addendum to extend our escrow to February 26th. We tell them that this is the last contract that we are going to sign. If this cannot be resolved by January or February 26th, we're not going to be moving forward with the house, and because we just couldn't take it anymore. We're like, we'd rather go through, a whole nother 30-day process, because at least we'll know when we're closing, where here we had no idea. And they wouldn't, and the seller's agent was not responsive at all. So much so that our agent had to start like CCing the closing attorneys from both sides to get her to reply, which we just thought was so unethical of her. And, they're wasting our time and our money, and they're not giving us any information. Like, we didn't want details. We just wanted like, hey, do you have an estimated closing time or closing date? Like, we just need to know. And we couldn't get that. Then we get told we get an email. Well, Dustin gets an email on February 5th from somebody at our loan office saying, hey, it looks like you guys are clear to close. Like, the title's been cleared, but since the loan is sat for so long, we do need to just like run your credit again and get your like updated pay stubs and stuff. But then we're good. So we're like, heck yes, like we're so excited, and we send it right over.
Immediately.
Like, immediately. On the 8th, we get an email saying, hey, your loan for this property has been officially approved by underwriting. Like, it is good to go. And our, closing department is going to be reaching out to you soon with your closing disclosure. And so at this point, we're like, oh my gosh, it's like finally, it's finally happening. And all the stuff that we had gone through up until this point seems all worth it. And then, on the 10th, which was Wednesday, we get a text message from our loan officer, and he says, you're closing on Friday at 10 a.m., which was the 12th. So he had set up our closing, and we were like, yes, like everything. And we asked, listen, we called our closing attorney, we talked to our agent, we called the loan office, like the mortgage company, so many times to make sure that everything was in order from not only our side, but the seller's side, because we knew that they were not good with getting back to us in a timely manner. And we just wanted to make sure that there was like absolutely nothing that was overlooked, nothing that was missed. And we asked each of those people at least 5 to 10 times.
If not more.
If there was more that we needed to do. And everybody was like, no, we're clear to close. Friday comes around, and me and Dustin are on our way to the closing attorney, and we are so excited. I'll insert a clip because we really thought that we were about to be
closing,
signing the papers and bringing it home and giving you the first installment of our real hot mess house renovation here on YouTube. So here it is. It's really sad. What are we doing?
We about to close on our house. It's only taking almost 3 months, but it's happening today.
Yeah, today.
In like
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Finally.
Finally.
And then guess what, you guys? You get to watch us really get to work. I think we're gonna have to go directly to Lowe's after this and get like a big ass hammer.
I like your mallet.
Yeah, and like a crowbar though.
Oh, we do need a crowbar.
Yeah.
That is true.
So we'll see you inside. So we go in and we're sitting down. I wanted to add that they even had this cute little welcome mat and a picture of our new house. Our agent gets there and he said, has your loan officer reached out to you?
And that's the first thing he says to us.
And we were like, no. And then he goes, he texted me on my way here to tell me that something like a reappraisal needed to be done. Like there was some repairs that the VA needed to make sure were done before we could close.
And he was trying to schedule the reinspection himself, or something along those lines.
The loan officer. Now, keep in mind that we had a lot of repairs done to this house. So we're very confused because they had already come through and done the appraisal. So we're like, we don't understand. We were told that this process was already done.
Yeah, the only thing that had come out of it was like a price change, but that was it.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that came out of the appraisal. Like per email, per everything that they told us, that is the only difference from this appraisal that had happened to us.
Yeah. We're all confused. Our closing attorney is like rushing around trying to get answers because, mind you, at this point, we still don't have our CD.
And we're sitting in the closing office past 10 now.
And they were like, oh, don't worry, just come because we'll have the CD sent over that morning. Like, everybody was talking to each other. Everybody was told that the CD would be sent the morning of closing, and that we would have, you know, any amount that we needed to bring to the table, and that we could just go run to the bank, get a cashier's check, bring it back, and sign our documents. So our real estate agent is trying to get a hold of our mortgage company. Our closing attorney is trying to get a hold of our mortgage company. And by, you know, we're supposed to close at 10 o'clock. By this time, it is now 12 o'clock, and we're all still sitting there at the closing table. Our agent had tried to reach out, like, everybody's tried to reach out, and mind you, our mortgage person, our loan officer, had still not said a word to me and Dustin.
But had texted our agent before closing, even was scheduled to happen.
Yeah, like on the way to closing. He said that everything was good to close.
To everyone.
To everyone.
Us, to our agent, to our closing, what's it called?
Attorney.
Our closing attorney, everyone was under the impression that we're good to go, because he specifically said and gave every single one of us the clear to close.
Yeah. And we asked, like, so many times. So he calls Dustin at like 12:30, I think it was at this point. Mm-hmm. So 2.5 hours we're sitting in this office just trying to get answers. And he's like, hey, I hear that you're still sitting at the closing table. There needs to be a reappraisal. You guys won't be closing today. And he's on speakerphone, because we're very, like, close with our agent now. Like, he's been through so much with us, and we're like, we're done.
Really has.
Like, everybody else has been so shoddy at communicating that we're like, we're just going to put it on speakerphone, because we're all here. We all need to know the same thing. So we put it on speakerphone. He's telling us we're not going to close, and we're like, why did you not tell us this? Like, you are the one that set up this closing schedule. You knew that we were coming to the table today. Why was nobody informed in advance when you knew about this closing? They knew about the time and date before we even knew. Like, he knew on Monday. Now it's Friday. He had a whole week. And he scheduled it. So he's on the morning of at 9:45 texting our agent saying, hey, we still need this thing. Well, it gets even worse. It gets even worse. He never sent the VA required repairs to either of our agents.
Which he didn't necessarily have to send it to ours, but he is required to send it to the seller's agent.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen.
And he was like, well, we just need the appraiser to come back out
And make sure the repairs are done.
And mind you, we had gotten a lot of repairs done. But he had never shared that information with any agent involved. And there was things that we didn't put on our must-have repair list to close on the house that the VA had put on that we were never made aware of.
No one at all in this transaction. The seller does not know. Our agent doesn't know. The seller's attorney doesn't know. No one at all knows, except for our loan officer.
Yeah. They sent us a copy of the appraisal, but they never sent it to the agent, and we don't know what we're looking at. We had no idea. Pull it up while we're sitting at the closing table, and we know that some of these things hadn't been done because they weren't on our list. And we live in this house now, so we know what had not been done. These repairs still need to be done, and then a reinspection for appraisal can be done.
Due to the lack of communication, his solution to his problem that he had caused was to go ahead and order the reinspection of the required repairs.
Because he thought that the repairs had definitely been done.
Because he definitely sent it to the seller's agent. sarcasm.
No.
Obviously.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. And we were like, okay, but we know that these repairs are not done. And he's like, well, we definitely sent it. We're like, well, obviously you didn't. And then we get the excuse that your loan was sitting here for so long that it just got lost in the shuffle. Lost in the shuffle? Sir, the shuffle is your job.
And keep in mind, we have been professional this entire time because, like, it's just, like, why not? You know, like, you should be. But at this point, we literally lost it on this man who just chose not to do his job.
Yeah. So we're like, this is literally your job. We were like, you knew that we were coming to the table today.
You set it up.
Yeah. So there is no, and I was like, we're waiting for the lien to get removed on this house for 6 weeks, almost 7 weeks, almost 2 months. And in that time, your job wasn't done after we had repeatedly asked, because we asked them to go over everything to make sure that nothing was missing, because we had already been through so much with this house and we knew that, you know, we couldn't trust freaking anybody except our agent to give us proper information. We're like, please, please, please make sure everything's good to go. And now we're still sitting here at the closing table, which you set up, and you're telling us that we can't close because of your mistake, because our loan got lost in the shuffle. They had 2 months to do those repairs, to get those repairs to the seller's agent and have a re-inspection. And they just didn't do it.
Nope.
And so now it is Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Love you. And
Or else I didn't say it back.
and we're sitting here not even knowing if the seller has agreed to do these repairs.
Because communication, it's not good between the seller agent to ours.
Not only that, but our contract is going to be up soon. 2 of the things that need to be done are like some windows that need to be replaced. But because of COVID, windows and building materials are on back order and contractors are in high demand. Like they're booking weeks out, and windows can take months to come in at this time. There's a chance that we will have to walk away from this house because they dropped the ball, and we wouldn't then be able to close on this house until those windows were installed, which they'll take months to get here. If we continued the contract, we would still have to pay this man rent, and, you know, we'll still have to go through with the loan if they're willing to let us, you know, repair the windows instead of replacing them, and have it all done and re-inspected before the 26th, then we will be closing on this house. But we don't know. We're still sitting here 2 days later with no answers.
And tomorrow's a government holiday, so we won't get it tomorrow either.
Yep. And we just don't know what's gonna happen. So we call the owner of the mortgage company, who, mind you, we had worked with when we bought our first house. And that's why we came back to his company, because we loved him. We had a great experience our first time. And we tell him that we don't want to work with our loan officer anymore, and that from here on out, we want to make sure that he is our point of contact instead of this guy.
We didn't say we don't want to. We said we will not work with that guy anymore because he did not ever do his job and didn't communicate, and it was just not going to happen. After all the stuff that he had messed up on his end that ruined it for us, we're not going to deal with that.
Yeah, because he's now literally put this entire transaction in jeopardy. And if we can't close and we have to wait months and months and months, we can't be put in that position. but then that also puts us in another position where we're gonna have to move anything that we have in this house out. We're gonna have to find temporary housing for us and our dogs. It will financially mess us up a lot, but emotionally, I don't think, like, I know that we can handle that, but this has been, like, so devastating. I'm, like, not gonna cry, but it's been so bad. So the owner tries to defend his loan agent and says, it's gone through so many people's hands and we should have caught this. There's no excuse. So now he's saying, there's been multiple people in our company that this has been an oversight for. Are you kidding me?
Not a single one of them caught it either.
Yeah. And then he goes, well, we're gonna make sure this is right. We're going to get a rush on that reappraisal.
Reinspection.
Yeah, reinspection for the appraisal. And we're like, you don't know the full situation then, because when we first got on the phone, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I know the situation. But our loan officer did not tell him that he didn't send the repairs to the seller's agent or our agent. Nobody was notified. So he was also still under the impression that, oh, we just need to get this inspector in here and make sure all the repairs are good to go. And he's like, oh, they were never sent? Yeah, they were never sent. And that is why we're so pissed. Like,
we are legally homeless because this man did not do his job. And because he didn't do his job, it could literally keep us homeless for even more time now.
Yeah. And not to mention that the market is so bad. Like, there is not any inventory, and the chances of us being able to find another house to buy and be able to close on within, like, the next month it would be very difficult.
Hence why it took us so long to get this house.
But the thing is, and we don't want to walk away from this house. Like, we love this house so much, but we can't live like this anymore. We're sleeping on an air mattress because we haven't moved all of our furniture in because we're going to be ripping up, the plan is and was to rip up all of the carpets and refinish the hardwood floor underneath. We didn't want to have to, like, move everything back around. And we're like, it's okay, we're gonna close soon.
And then, not to mention on top of that, so, like, that's the plan when we close. If this were to fall through and we don't close, we have to move everything out. So, like, if we move everything in right now, like furniture-wise, we'll just have to move it all again.
Yeah. So we're still paying for a storage unit. We're still paying, like, rent. And now we're going to have to continue to pay rent. And hopefully, until we close by the 26th. So we have no idea what is about to happen. And it has been
disastrous, to say the least.
And I'm not going to say the mortgage company's name because we still have to go through with using them in the event that we can get those repairs done and re-inspected by the 26th, because we don't have time to start from zero with a loan, which would take at least 30 days. So we still have to use them. Emotionally, we are so exhausted. And it's their fault. So we don't know what's gonna happen. And we will let you guys know. If and when we know. Hopefully that will be soon. So if anybody has any advice, I'm gonna try to stop crying now. But if anybody has any advice for us, or if you've been through a similar situation, if you are a loan officer, you work for a mortgage company, you're a real estate agent and had a similar situation happen to you, like, please let us know, because we just, like,
reassurance.
we don't know what to do. So anyway, that's the end of the video. Thank you if you made it this far. And I promise I actually just bought a new computer so that I could edit YouTube videos because I was having a really difficult time. My computer was not. Anyway, so I will have weekly YouTube videos up.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And
come in right here.
So those are coming starting today, because this is when this video is gonna, well, you're seeing it. Yeah, you're seeing it today. I'm gonna edit it today.
That's what I'm a hustler. Hustler. That's my wife, y'all. That's my wife. That's what I'm talking about right there. You better. You go get her.
I love you.
I love you.
But, so, don't worry, it's not gonna all be depressing content from here. Hopefully the next video for next week, hopefully we will be having a new, third time's the charm, right? Third closing date's the charm?
Hey, let's go with it.
And if not, we will definitely keep you updated. But thank you for listening to us rant, and we love you very much. We'll keep you updated, and I'll see you next week.
Make sure you like the video, subscribe.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Turn on that bell notification. See ya!